It seems like most of us stumbled upon something that we were not supposed to find out about. Upon Asmongold making his live reaction yesterday to Take Us North, talking about the sus connections that Karla Reyes has with like Visa and Mastercard and other people within the industry, upon all this information coming out, Karla Reyes decided to delete her entire account on social media, but it didn't just stop there. The entire site associated with Take Us North straight up privated their entire website, which honestly is a first for me. I've seen people delete their social media accounts, private their accounts, but I have never seen an entire site about pushing a certain narrative or propaganda for something completely private their entire site. And you're probably wondering, how did this happen, or why did this happen? Now, first off, you might assume it's thanks to Asmongold's video yesterday, or you might assume it's thanks to just content creators talking about it, which is partially true. However, the real thing that probably started all this and caused all this to happen, where they're now actively deleting information or privating information where you can no longer discover it, is Madame Savvy's post here. Madame Savvy released an absolute bombshell when it came to just revealing the connections that Karla Reyes has within the industry for gaming and for just honestly the payment processors as well. It is literally showcasing the direct connections that this individual has with so many big figures around the world, and even active politicians that have been in office with President Obama. Yeah, you did not mishear me. I said people that have literally worked with the President of the United States, Obama, when he was in office, is even involved with this entire situation. So that is one of the big things that's probably drove this company, drove Karla Reyes, and the entire website to private itself, is because of the connections being discovered. And so let's showcase that first of all. So first off, we gotta talk about straight up the connection of the actual politician, Mark here. Mark, as you can see here, I have it, circled in red. He is a former Obama White House employee. Basically, he worked, from what I could discover, he worked as the OSTP, and you're probably wondering, what is OSTP? Now, out of everything of the Office of Science and Technology Policy, this is the one area that really stands out amongst all this. OSTP also serves as a source of scientific and technological analysis and judgment for the president with respect to any major strategies, plans, and government programs. That one is the big one. That is the big red flag there. Basically, this individual was overseeing, managing, and strategizing and planning for government-funded programs. And what government-funded program have we seen, especially with the connection of this person, Mark? Well, first off, I've already showed it. Karla Reyes has been trying to fund this game called Take Us North, which is literally about illegal immigrants coming into the United States and trying to romanticize it, try to make it look like a good thing, try to, encourage actual illegal activity. That is what is being funded by this game. This game is trying to promote and encourage content like that. And Mark, as you can see, is someone that straight up was advertising Take Us North and trying to promote it and promote people to cross the US-Mexico border to illegally immigrate. They're not talking about people legally trying to enter the country. They're talking about illegal immigration, talking about people that are actually harming those that want to immigrate into the country legally, spending money and putting years upon years of time trying to legally get into the country. They're not promoting that. They're not promoting the legal aspect. They're promoting illegal immigration that hurts everyone around in the country and those that are trying to get in the country the right way. So it's really interesting seeing this individual that has worked with a former president that was a part of government-funded programs straight up directly involved with a game. And what makes this crazier is that upon Madame Savvy calling this out, revealing this to the public, that is when Karla Reyes, for instance, privated her account, and then the site entirely privated as well. Or in this case, Karla Reyes actually deleted her account. But the point is that soon as that information was found out, that there was ties to politicians and people that worked within the government, lockdown, straight up silence, did not want you to see it. They're trying to cover their tracks so you don't even know about it, which is just a massive red flag. I think anyone looking at the situation could just agree that that is not normal. When you have these connections brought to the surface and people now start finding out about it, and then your reaction isn't to try to clarify or even try to talk about it, but to just private everything and hide it, it's clear there's something that they're trying to hide. They don't want people to be aware of this, but that's the thing. It's the internet, screenshots are eternal, and on top of that, videos are on platforms that you can easily find. And so in this case, the damage has already been done, and I'm doing my part to actually spread that information for more people are aware of what is going on. Now, I have gotten ahead of myself. I have talked about the connection with a politician, but I want to talk about Madame Savvy's post and what she discovered about the connections that Karla Reyes has within not just the gaming industry, but the situation within the UK. Yeah, that UK, the UK that is forcing their population to censor themselves or arrest them for posting memes online, calling people terrorists if you even talk about immigration. Yeah, it's funny how those things connect, but also she has worked in London and had a publishing team within London as well, which really outlines the fact that she is directly involved not just with like gaming spheres or payment processors, but most likely people within even the UK to push a certain narrative where you can't talk about certain things. Very interesting how all these individuals, these malicious groups, are working together. But okay, let's get into what Madame Savvy said. These people are really fascinating in how they try to join every little thing and admit how DEI is used to break into the industry, all to create a game that you're so passionate about, only to delete everything the moment people catch on that this is propaganda. This person doesn't seem like the type to contribute to anything, yet is part of the WEF. Visa, several groups including the one funding it also. Hi Mastercard, what are you doing here at this 2024 DEI event doing a sideways move? Also, even Neontic, I probably butchered that, she was all over the place coming from Visa. Now, here's the screenshots that Madame Savvy provided, and this one, I'm going to have a zoom in here for you can see it better, but basically, as you can see, this is Karla Reyes, which is the individual I've been talking about in this video, and is directly involved with Take a Snore. She did the presentation at Gamescom. You can see here that she was literally at GamesBeat Summit 2024. You can see her circled right here, but if you look to the side of her, you literally see someone from Mastercard, a bigwig at Mastercard, here at this event. That's not including the other individuals alongside of her, but the fact that you have someone from Mastercard alongside of Karla Reyes, I think indicates that there's definitely something going on there, especially when you look at the fact that, you know, Karla Reyes was working at Visa. Strange. Strange, don't you think? Pretty strange. That is definitely not something that is relatively normal, especially when a lot of these individuals that have connections with Karla Reyes or a part of the Take a Snore and stuff have involvement with payment processors, a lot of them. Very weird. It is definitely not something you could just say as a coincidence. Anyways, let's continue what Madame Savvy is saying here. So she brought some pictures up besides this one. She also has this showcasing a little bit closer look at what she's worked on. For instance, she's worked with, you know, Square Enix, for instance, you know, Neontic Inc. You can see that she's worked on Constant System, you know, Visa as well. You can see quite a few things she has worked on and contributed to, like, for instance, the Tomb Raider Reloaded. We all know how that one went. But, basically, you can see this is a post that she had pinned on her profile before she, effectively deleted actually her entire social media. She was talking about, you know, the company that privated their site. She was talking about Take a Snore and all that, but obviously you can no longer see this because the account is gone. This also right here showcases how involved she's been for a very long time, talking about certain posts and even talking with Mastercard and stuff for a while. Pause the video if you want to read this. But Karla Reyes is clearly someone that is actively pushing propaganda within not just the gaming sphere, but with her group that she's involved with. Now, Madame Savvy here does go into the politician and talks about how it's a former Obama worker and, you know, how they're connected and all that. I've already covered this at the beginning of the video, so I'm not going to dive too deep into this section, but obviously this is very important and very thankful that Madame Savvy brought this to light, because I feel like a lot of people were not even aware of this, which is why I think the reason why there's such a lockdown of this information, why, for instance, Karla Reyes and the company for Take Us Home has privated everything, is because this was discovered. But continuing on, this one is the real interesting part that really showcases the saturation or how involved Karla Reyes is as a person within all these different groups. So let's pull this one up first. So as you can see, this is incredibly large. Do not worry. Here is the full thing right here and what it says. Why Square Enix, Karla Reyes believes there is a sense of duty to pay back and pay forward for those already in games. It's worth reiterating that representation, allyship, and leadership roles are essential. And so if you scroll down, this is what she has to say. Outside of Square Enix, I participate in advocacy groups as partnership manager for BAME and Games and head of business development for Code Coven, which is a company very much involved with propaganda and DEI and all sorts of stuff like that. A global games industry accelerator and learning communication for people from unrepresented backgrounds. These roles involve partnering with studios and other organizations to curate programs that mentor and evaluate marginalized talent. So welcome to our POC in Mobile series, where discussion about finding a place in games industry, the various challenges faced as a minority, and what truly needs to be done to make games more diverse will be the focal points of conversation. This week, we spoke to Square Enix product manager Karla Reyes. Yeah, so she didn't just work at Visa for 3+ years in finance and all that, and now is pushing this take us home thing for illegal immigration. She's worked at Square Enix, involved with so many things. It's very strange how all this kind of comes together, involved in these different spaces. But anyways, about their journey into the mobile games market and why people of color need help, pay back and pay forward to help others enter the industry. PocketGamer.biz, can you start off by telling us about your role in games and what it entails? Karla Reyes, I am a product manager on Square Enix's mobile publishing team based in London. Yeah, you heard that right. London. UK. It's all connected, man. It's all connected. Like, it's crazy how you can just see the patterns and the lines just connecting when you just piece all this together. It's crazy how many people that are on one subject of controversy or scandals going on is connected with these other controversies and scandals on a different section of the world. It's fascinating how that works out. But anyways, we are working on titles across multiple genres within the mobile free-to-play ecosystem, including the recently announced Tomb Raider Reloaded. My role is highly collaborative, and my responsibilities include but are not limited to market research, user research, and then if you go further, which Savvy actually shows here, this is what more she has to say, and what drives her for her career. Now this is the next part of that very interview where it asks why is she working in the gaming industry. I always aspired to enter a career that combines my love of art and technology and contributes to making a social impact after graduating from university. I worked in financial technology. Do you see the connection here? Financial technology, like, in order to support paying off student loans, but craved sinking my teeth into a more creative field. One of my main motivators to join the gaming industry was the immense and unique platform we have to educate, inspire, and ignite positive social change. I'm especially intrigued by the way games can enable players to discover empathy and learn effective collaboration skills. The games industry is so vast and nuanced, from powerful storytelling to pushing boundaries with new technologies. There is an expansive universe to explore. The more we find out about this person, the more I realize why she's trying to private everything, why she's hiding everything. It's just like, you don't do that unless you have some major skeletons in the closet. You don't. Especially when you have all these people working with you. Just strange, man. Pretty strange. If you don't catch my drift. But one of the big things, though, that's very fascinating about all this that Madam Savvy points out is this one. What do you think can be done to help encourage more people of color to get into games? Panels and workshops for POC. That's one of the big things she outlines here. And yeah, you can just see that it's all propaganda. She's literally using gaming as a vessel, as a vessel to push propaganda, which it just falls completely in line with Take Us North. And so, dude, why, dude? Like, just, like, oh my goodness, man. Am I crazy for just seeing all these connections? I mean, clearly not. Madam Savvy obviously sees it too. But it's just like, seeing all this stuff connected in just the last month is just so wild to me. Like, I feel like I have slipped into a completely different reality because of just how crazy everything is. How so much stuff is just connected and intertwined with each other. I never would have imagined, like, for instance, the stuff going on in the gaming industry, like, you know, with the DEI stuff and all that, and how games have been, like, tampered with and messed with and all that, with politics and stuff. It would reach other areas on the internet. I mean, I obviously am a fool for not thinking it would, but the point of the matter is just seeing it reach into other tendrils of the internet and is now kind of involved with payment processors and censorship and all that and government stuff. It's weird. It's just, and then all happening so quickly back to back. And then I want to reiterate this, like, all this being discovered, and then their response to this being discovered is not to double down for the propaganda and push this, but to hide it. that's not really sending a good message that you believe in your goals or you believe in what you're fighting for. It's more or less trying to say you are fighting for this certain aspect to release to make some money off it, profit it, or do something along the lines that might be shady, but you've never really probably believed in the cause, and you're just doing it to profit off it or something. I don't know. But the point is that it is strange when someone is called out for this stuff and they private and delete everything. That's not normal. It's not, especially if you're trying to do the right thing, quote unquote. Like, they actively think they're doing the right thing by pushing this type of stuff, and if they back out and bend and buckle instantly, that's not really sending a positive message, in my opinion. I feel like that's sending the reverse of that, showcasing that they knew that it wasn't a positive message. I'll leave it at that, though. I wanted to bring this to light. Very fascinating stuff. I want to say thank you to Madam Savvy for letting us all become aware of this, and I'm doing my part by spreading this for everybody becomes aware of it. But thank you so much. You all stay safe, stay healthy, stay blessed. Leave a comment for the algorithm can help this video, see many other people's inbox and all that. But, Chibi out.